here with a few of my sisters, friends, people I have enjoyed getting to know at our time at Hampton.
Hey everyone, I'm Victoria Daniels, a graduating senior, journalism major, minor in leadership studies from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hey guys, I'm Adrienne Seeley. I'm a, graduating pharmacy major. I never said that before. But yeah, I'm a P4 pharmacy major, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello everybody, my name is Aria Hill and I am a third year pharmacy student from Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay, and my name is Ayana. I'm a fourth year professional pharmacy student graduating from Hampton University School of Pharmacy in like 4 days. Hey, from Oxford, North Carolina. Can you guys sum up your Hampton experience in a sentence?
It was the time of my life, but the time of extreme growth, just as a woman.
I think that I grew equally in my womanhood and my blackness.
I would say that it was, very revolutionary. Like, I feel like what I learned here is gonna end up making me able to change the world. Okay, what specific skills have you gained that are gonna help you in your mission?
I think I learned how to be assertive. Before I came to college, I was that person who didn't like confrontation, didn't like altercations, even with friend stuff. And like, I've always been a very confident person, but I always lacked in the area of actually being able to stand up for myself. And I think that college really helped me with that, whether it was advocating for my academics, not having my mom there to do it for me. And then also like friend stuff, learning how to stick up for myself. And I think that'll definitely carry me, help, when I go on life and do what I want to do. And then I think I also really learned balance. So I've always been a very busy person, and college amplified that. But I really learned how to balance things and how to say no to some things that you really just can't do. And I think that's also super important going on through life, because I'm sure the busyness will continue. It's not going to stop. So now that I know how to balance things, good.
A huge skill that I learned that I had no idea, like, you really don't know the true meaning of the word networking until like you actually do it. So a huge skill set for me just came with learning how to network, and I think learning how to network entailed a lot of things that I didn't know I would have to challenge myself with. Like, I'm very like, whatever Aria wants to do, Aria is going to do it. So networking helped me like learn how to work with other people, learn how to speak to other people, because I have a challenging time of being too aggressive when I speak. So it taught me how to just like soften up a little bit, and then it taught me how to get out of my shell and speak to other people that I don't know, because that's not something like when I got here I knew. I was like, I want to have a single room. I don't have time for roommates. I don't like that. So in high school, like, it's kind of funny, I guess. Like, I was the same Aria, except a lot less people liked me for me being me.
Okay.
So and then I'm from the South, so it was just like, why is this little girl not saying hi all the time? Like, why does she never smile? Why does she always have the right answer? What is happening? So I think like networking helped me with ServiceBree, because once I was able to figure out what networking was, and it was just me being receptive to other people, thoughts, responses, and everything like that, that's when it was kind of a lot easier for ServiceBree to get going, because I was no longer feeling like I was insecure about my responses to people and constantly worried, because that's how it was in high school.
Right.
It was always parent-teacher conferences, like Aria's like this, she's like that. But networking made me just more lighthearted. I was willing to smile, talk, things like that. So with ServiceBree, there's that service, like smiling, talking, building personal relationships with people, building relationships with, volunteer grounds around here. So it just kind of helped me just be a better person.
No, I feel it.
Back in high school, I have a lot of white friends because I was a dancer, and that's why I said earlier I tuned into my blackness when I came to HBCU. So it was embracing my natural hair. It was being able to go back home and tell white people, no, you can't say the N-word. You can't say it. So just being here in general has just really helped and shaped me, being around my people, like-minded people, and all that. So yeah.
When I first came from high school, I felt like I really wanted to fit in, like that was really important to me, and I didn't really recognize it until years later, but I like always latched on to people who I kind of admired and I wanted to be like. And I noticed myself like constantly trying to like compare myself and then be like them, and then I would be happy if I felt like I was somewhat like them. And it came to the point where I noticed like, okay, I can't keep latching on to all these different people. Like there has to be something very unique about me that I need to embrace. That is like that's gonna be the only way that I really survive this college experience. So I think I like came to a certain point in my life where I just had to like kind of isolate myself and then determine like who I am. And having such good examples, like Victoria said, like having Biggs, having like all my friends and people who I admired, and I wanted my spirit to be a reflection of theirs, but not an imitation. So it was good to like have them and then learn to become myself.
Being from the South, like we were talking about earlier, being from the South has a great deal of like making you feel like, okay, if this is not it, like everything's just pretty black and white, and you're not as accepting to other things around you. So I just feel like, you know, as soon as I kind of opened my eyes and smiled at more people and just like even gracing other people with your presence, and letting people know that they're important too is kind of how I found my own way. Because I always say like, oh my God, like I give, and what comes back to me? Nothing. But at the same time, it's just like, so what?
I totally get where you're coming from about being from the South and like everything being black and white, and also like if you don't really talk to me, I ain't really talking to you, like coming from that whole mind state. But literally it's like when you accept others, you also accept a little bit more of yourself, because there's parts of you that you probably haven't come to grips with because you see it in other people and you're like, that's not the way to be, so I'm not doing that.
Like, how does your family feel about what's next? You know, because we're grown.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like we know what's next and we've like made our own, but like how do our parents really feel about what's next? Because generational, like a lot of us are the first to like get our masters or get our doctorate or become a family doctor. And I can say like, though we do have plans, or even if we are confused with our plans, it's almost like when I asked my mom, like, she was like, what do you want for your graduation gift? And I was like, yeah, if you could just get me another car, that would be great. And she said, for what, if you're going to be making more money than me? So it brings you to a point of like, at first I was laughing too, but then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be 23 years old, making 6 figures. And it took my mom till she was 45 with 3 children. You know, that is a really big, like, we're making generational literal leaps.
Yeah.
You know? So I do wonder, how does y'all's family feel about like what you're doing? What are you doing next, but how does your like family perceive that too?
That is a really great question.
So what I'm doing actually is actually a funny story. So coming into college, I'm a journalism major, and I just knew I was going to be the next Robin Roberts. I just wanted to be an anchor. I wanted to be on TV, all that stuff. And my mom was really for it. She was like, yeah, because basically she was an advertising major. Well, she was a journalism major. And a professor basically told her that she needed to fix how she said her S's. And so she wouldn't be good on camera.
Like as far as a list or something?
No, it's not a list, but she just like made like a noise. And so that turned her away, and she gave up her dreams of being an anchor. So she switched to advertising. So I feel like when I told her, yeah, I want to major in journalism, she was like, oh, like, yeah, you're about to be an anchor.
You're gonna live out my dream.
Exactly. And so sophomore year, when I told her, yeah, like, I don't want to be an anchor anymore. I just felt like I was too creative. I had too much to offer than to sit behind a desk and read what they want me to read.
Yeah.
And I had an internship last year over the summer in Indiana at a TV station. And at first, like when I going into it, I was like, I really don't want this. Like I know it's not what I want to do, but I was like, Victoria, take it, you know, see what's gonna happen. And I mean, in the end, I was like, yes, not what I wanted to do, but I'm glad that I got the experience, and it just solidified, you know, my decision. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to grad school. I don't need to go to grad school for journalism, really, like, unless you want to be a teacher. Like, I don't need to go. I'm just, you know, going to get a job. I'm going to go straight to Essence, do all this. So I was super against grad school. And my mom was like, no, you need to go. And I was like, no, I'm not going. And so maybe like last month, I was walking past the professor's office. She was like, Victoria, get in here right now. You need to apply to this program at University of Maryland. It's due on Thursday. We'll do the recommendations. Like, you just need to do it. It's a fellowship. It's a 2-year program. It's a free master's. You need to do it. And I was like, I mean, I haven't heard back from a job, so I'm just going to do it. Like, it is what it is. And when I got it, I was just really shocked because I was like, wow, this is real. Like, I'm about to go to grad school. I'm about to do what I said I was never going to do. But really, I had to take it as it's going to be a blessing. I'm just kind of going to go where it takes me. I don't really know. I am excited. And it's just like, yeah, it's a free master's. Like, why not? 2 years getting my belt.
Free master's.
Yeah, girl.
Are you getting paid for it too?
Yes.
That's why I was
Yes.
like, wow,
Yes.
you did
Yeah,
that
I
application
know.
sounds like in a week.
Yeah, I did it in
Or
3
less
days.
than a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like, oh my goodness.
So I think that my parents and my family are extremely happy because I'm kind of doing what they want me to do.
want.
Yeah. But they've also come to accept. Me and my mom have had a lot of conversations. She's like, I really see your passion for writing, and I understand now why you want to write somewhere. I understand why you don't want to be an anchor. So I think that we're getting to that point where they're like, okay, you know, we're gonna be okay with your decisions. We're gonna support you and back you. But yeah, I just think it's funny that I'm doing what I said I would never do.
You're
So it's
following in their dreams, but they have no clue.
Yeah.
In depth.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I think I also was so against grad school because I've literally worked so hard in school my whole life. I'm the grade grubber. Like, if I get a B, I'm like, what is going on? So I kind of wanted to break from that, but I think not having as many extracurriculars and all that, and I'm just focusing on my work, it'll be less stressful. So that's me.
It'll be less about the grade and more about your growth.
Yeah.
Like, you can just focus.
Yeah. And the program sounds very nurturing, and like the dean literally emails me every day, and so I think it's going to be a really great relationship, and yeah, I'm excited. Mhm.
Well, currently I have a job with a retail pharmacy, so I want to do that for a little bit because I think it's important right now to like hone in on my community skills, like being able to relate to different patient populations, being able to put the business aspect of a job aside and focus on what I think is important, which is, you know, nurturing the patient, making sure their needs are met, talking to them about their lives. Like, I want to kind of shift the focus of pharmacy a little bit. So I think that's what I want to focus on first. And then I want to join the Peace Corps because I think I could definitely be an asset to a team of people who really just want to create opportunities for people who may not have ever had anyone acknowledge them, literally. So yeah, I want to be a global girl, doing some public health work, advocating for my people, because my people are everywhere. There's only a small number of places where we are not the majority.
Amen.
So, yes.
And how does Double S feel about that?
Well, about the family aspect, I think, like she was saying, like, our parents, it took them a long time to get to where they are, and they blessed us with this huge opportunity. And I think that sometimes they can get a little bit misguided as far as like what the real truth is, just because of their own experiences. And I don't blame them, I don't put anything against them, but I think that what my family wants matters about this much compared to like what I want and how I sleep at night and what gives me peace of mind. So I hope that they're more proud about me being proud than anything. And anything else, if they feel any other type of way, I'm just gonna pray for them.